Catch Me If You Can is a great movie. Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks, Christopher Walken, Martin Sheen, Amy Adams, Josh Brolin. That is a list of major Hollywood heavy hitters. The only problem is, the movie is portrayed as the true story of Frank Abagnale Jr., with the claim that during his late teen years, he was able to con his way to millions of dollars by posing as a Pan Am pilot. Here in 120 seconds, I'm going to go over first-hand accounts and articles that were written about Abagnale back in the 70s that debunk these claims. Here we go. First off, Abagnale only posed as a Trans World Airlines pilot for a few weeks. In 1969, he met a flight attendant named Paula Parks and basically began stalking her. He was able to get a hold of her schedule and he went where she went. She tried telling him she wasn't interested, but he was persistent. He even showed up at her apartment in New Orleans. Eventually, she caved and took him on a visit to her parents' place in Baton Rouge. After they left, he showed back up at her parents' house a few days later and they took him in as he told them he was on furlough as a pilot. While they made him meals and introduced him to friends, he was stealing about $1,200 from them and more from local businesses. Abagnale was eventually caught and arrested. He was paroled in 1974, and a parole officer encouraged him to tell his story about being a transformed man. Abagnale took this as a sign to completely make it up. He started by giving small lectures about his turnaround in life. This would eventually lead to a spot on To Tell the Truth in 1974. This would vault him to stardom, showing up on Today with Tom Brokaw and The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Journalists back in the 70s were even skeptical of Abagnale's claims. One story he told was stealing a deposit drop while dressed as an airport security guard. This was quickly debunked back then. There was the main claim that became the movie Catch Me If You Can, where Abagnale recruited women to tour Europe on Pan Am's dime and stole $2.5 million from the company through bad checks. A reporter asked a Pan Am spokesperson about this, and they denied he stole any money, saying, quote, "I've checked with the security people and everyone here, and it never happened. This is the first we've heard of this, and we would have heard or at least remembered if it had happened. You don't forget $2.5 million in bad checks. I'd say this guy is as phony as a $3 bill." Despite the ability to debunk his claims, Abagnale ended up writing a book that Hollywood bought hook, line, and sinker. And the lies have continued. Abagnale claimed that the FBI included in its 100th anniversary coffee table book a section about him and how they took him out of prison to work for the agency. That book exists, but the mention of Abagnale does not. Thank you for checking out the video. If you're enjoying this content, please give it a like, and if there is a topic that you would like me to cover, feel free to comment below.